Battle Through the Heavens. Chapter 203. Xiao Yan encounters the snake woman Yi Mi in the desert. The desert's weight drags at his lungs, each step a jagged struggle to keep his presence hidden beneath the shimmering haze. He anchors his drifting focus with a sharp sting of pain, eyes locking onto the cool, deceptive stillness of the water. There, a rhythmic sway beneath the surface stills his breath, revealing a predator whose depth he cannot fathom.
Since Xiao Yan first became aware of women, he feared that only Ya Fei in Wutan City could compare to this one.
Gulp.
Looking at this beautiful woman, Xiao Yan's throat moved slightly. His hand slowly and sharply pinched his thigh. The intense pain allowed him to regain his clarity. His gaze swept over the woman beside the lake. Beneath the transparent water, a green snake tail swayed slightly, releasing a seductive allure.
A snake person?
Xiao Yan sighed softly, his eyes narrowing. His face was covered in shock because he discovered that, using his spiritual perception, he actually could not detect what level of strength the woman in front of him possessed.
Trouble? This woman is at least a Dou Ling, perhaps even a Dou Wang expert.
Swallowing a mouthful of saliva, having vaguely guessed the woman's strength, Xiao Yan was about to choose to retreat. Suddenly, the woman in the lake turned her gaze toward the place where Xiao Yan was hiding. Xiao Yan's heart was slightly startled, and he thought in shock.
With Yao Lao hiding my breath, how could she discover me?
The snake woman in the lake was seductive, looking as if she were made of water. Her eyes stared fixedly at Xiao Yan's position. A moment later, she covered her lips with her delicate hand and smiled, saying,
"That little human brat! You took advantage of this elder sister, and now you want to leave?"
As soon as she finished speaking, the snake woman's slender arm slapped the surface of the lake. A water arrow rose up. Her red lips opened slightly, and a mouthful of emerald green poison was spat into the water arrow. She sent the water arrow containing the poisonous liquid shooting violently toward the spot where Xiao Yan was hiding. Although the snake woman's words were as gentle as if she were speaking to a lover, her strike was extremely ruthless. If Xiao Yan were hit by that poisonous arrow, he feared that if he did not die, he would at least lose a layer of skin. Fortunately, Xiao Yan saw that the snake woman's strength was terrifying, so he had kept his mind focused on her. Seeing her strike in an instant, his foot immediately stepped on the ground, and his figure suddenly lunged outward. Swoosh! The water arrow shot violently into the forest. The trees in that area instantly withered. Glancing back at the place where the trees had withered, Xiao Yan could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. This woman was truly too poisonous.
I did not expect it to be such a good-looking little guy.
Seeing Xiao Yan lunge out from the forest, the snake woman's two eyes brightened. She did not care at all that the upper half of her body was naked in front of Xiao Yan, and she laughed long and loud.
Ah, big sister, you continue your bath slowly. I am only passing through.
Xiao Yan gave a dry laugh toward the snake woman, and his body rapidly moved away from the lake. Watching Xiao Yan retreat like lightning, she slowly raised one finger, then moved it as if she were dancing. As the snake woman's finger danced, a cold, dark burst of energy suddenly shot toward Xiao Yan's back from within the dense forest. Sensing the energy shooting from behind, Xiao Yan was slightly shocked. His body trembled slightly. A purple dochi gauze armor rapidly enveloped him. His finger flicked, and a burst of flame shot violently backward, finally colliding with the cold energy. With a sound, the purple fire slowly dissipated, and the cold energy turned into a small, brightly colored snake. However, the small snake had now become a roasted snake. His eyes swept over the multicolored snake. The corner of Xiao Yan's eye twitched slightly. Although this snake was small,
Its toxicity was extremely powerful. Even if a doshi were bitten by it, if they did not neutralize the poison in time, their life would be in danger.
The little guy indeed has some ability. However, there are more than 1,000 poisonous snakes hidden in the forest. Do you actually want to kill them all?
Glancing indifferently at the small snake that had been killed, the snake woman's red lips opened slightly, and a strange sound wave was transmitted from her mouth. As the sound wave spread, rustling sounds rang out. In just a short moment, various kinds of poisonous snakes appeared on the trees surrounding Xiaoyan. The triangular eyes of the poisonous snakes stared intently at Xiaoyan. If the snake woman gave a single order, they would all spit poison toward him. Looking at the poisonous snakes all around, Xiaoyan's scalp felt numb. He suddenly understood. No wonder this woman discovered his tracks. He had forgotten that they had the ability to manipulate poisonous snakes. These were countless eyes arranged throughout the forest. He feared that as soon as he stepped into the oasis, he had been discovered by them.
Lord, you men, do we need to kill him?
From within the forest, figures suddenly flashed, and several snake women who were guarding the outside appeared around the forest, looking coldly at Xiaoyan. They asked in low voices, and several snake women who were guarding the outside appeared around the forest, looking coldly at Xiaoyan. They asked in low voices.
Ah, no rush. I have not discovered this kind of human intruder here for a long time.
The snake woman called Yue Mai smiled seductively. Her snake tail moved slightly, and she elegantly swam to the shore, her soft body standing at the edge of the lake. Two figures appeared behind Yue Mai, immediately covering her body, which would make a man's blood boil, with a black cloak. Allowing her subordinates to dress her as they pleased, Yue Mai's fingers stroked the water droplets clinging to her hair. She looked at Xiaoyan and laughed, saying,
That little guy, tell elder sister, why did you come to this place? You should know that humans rarely enter deep into the desert, let alone appear near an oasis belonging to a tribe. Could it be that you are a spy from the Jama Empire? Are you all preparing to start a war again?
By the time she reached the final words, Xiaoyan could clearly sense that Yue Mi's seductive, smiling face had briefly shown a flash of coldness.
I was only passing through this place and wanted to get a little water. As for being a spy, I think you are imagining things, aren't you?
Xiaoyan spread his hands and spoke somewhat innocently.
While he spoke, his eyes were scanning for a weakness to break through the encirclement.
Haha, it indeed seems a bit different.
Her alluring gaze swept over Xiaoyan's body, and Yue smiled indifferently.
Since it is not the same, then, big sister, please continue your bath. This little brother will take his leave.
After saying this, Xiaoyan's foot stepped heavily on the ground. A burst of energy exploded, and his figure rushed toward the forest.
Come back!
Just as his figure moved, a snake woman appeared before him like lightning, holding a snake spear and stabbing it violently toward Xiaoyan.
Dadoshi.
Sensing the fluctuations on the opponent's body, Xiaoyan could not help but react. His hand grabbed the handle of the heavy Xuan ruler and then struck out fiercely. The heavy Xuan ruler struck out heavily, the pressing force of the energy pushing down the small trees in the vicinity. Clang! Following a crisp sound, Xiaoyan's body was immediately forced back. More than 10 footprints appeared on the ground from Xiaoyan's feet before he could slowly dissipate the terrifying force. When Xiaoyan was beaten back, the Dadoshi snake woman seemed much more relaxed. Her soft body swayed, and she strangely neutralized the force from the heavy Xuan ruler. She looked up, her cold eyes staring at Xiaoyan.
Whew, as expected of a Dadoshi. This gap?
Shaking his somewhat numb hand, Xiaoyan licked his lips and smiled bitterly in his heart.
Little guy, since you have come, why do you need to leave? Follow elder sister to the tribe to play. Do not forget what kind of person you are.
Seeing Xiao Yan block a strike from her most capable subordinate, Yuemi's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. Then she smiled seductively.
Forget it. If I wanted to be a snake person, I would still prefer being a human. After all, I do not like having a tail. It is very uncomfortable when walking.
Xiao Yan slowly exhaled a breath. The heavy Xuan ruler spun in his hand before being put into his storage ring. Xiao Yan turned his head to look at the beautiful woman in the black cloak and laughed. Hearing Xiao Yan's somewhat mocking tone, Yuan Ai smiled coldly. Her seductive face slowly stiffened, and she said indifferently,
Since that is the case, you can rest here? Kill him!
Waving her hand, Yue Mi spoke calmly, her voice filled with killing intent. Hearing Yue Mi's order, the surrounding snake women could no longer suppress their killing intent toward humans. Their figures suddenly moved, and the poisonous spears in their hands carried a faint dark glow as they stabbed violently toward Xiao Yan.
Who?
Sensing the killing intent rushing from all directions, Xiao Yan took a light breath. His back trembled slightly, and the large purple cloud wings appeared. His foot stumped fiercely on the ground. Following an explosion, Xiao Yan's body immediately flew straight into the sky. As his body reached the air, Xiao Yan's two wings flapped. Looking at the snake women who were staring up in shock, he laughed loudly and said,
Bye-bye, everyone. Please continue your bath. I really was just passing by.
Do key wings?
Seeing the two wings on Xiao Yan's back, Yumi's smiling face briefly showed shock. A moment later, however, her eyebrows furrowed and she shook her head.
No, it is not Daoqi wings. That little guy is indeed becoming more and more interesting. How could elder sister let you go?
Covering her smiling red lips, a bone-chilling coldness containing killing intent appeared on her face. Raising her head to look at Xiao Yan, who was rapidly leaving the oasis, she waved her hand toward the surrounding snake women and said,
You all go back to the tribe first. I will see if this little fellow can escape from my hands.
Yes, my lady.
Hearing this, several snake women who were about to pursue immediately stepped back and bowed respectfully to Yue Mi. Then, without any hesitation, they flicked their bodies and entered the forest, quickly disappearing. When all the snake women had retreated, Yue Mi then looked up toward the sky and laughed. Seeing that Xiao Yan was now only about the size of a hand, Yue Mi smiled slightly. Her body trembled slightly, and a pair of wings slowly appeared behind Yue Mi's back. In an instant, a pair of green energy wings condensed. The two wings moved slightly, and Yue Mi's body flew into the air. She then chased after the fleeing Xiao Yan.
Hee hee, little guy. If people were to find out that a tiny little douchey actually escaped from my, Yumi's hands, wouldn't I be laughed to death?
In the cool oasis, as Yumi's graceful voice slowly dissipated, everything returned to how it was before.